All right, take two for Galatians 5. Spent the day dealing with a mold situation, and it feels like God is helping. I have a story about that, but I don't know if I should share it or not. Really quickly, I had been not dealing with this mold situation timely to do it was neglected due to my own like incompetence, right? And then finally started to like take seriously that I need to address this mold situation. And I had researched, called a bunch of places. They were not places I would hire, and I was just struggling like, okay, well maybe we just need to clean this up ourselves and not hire a like what's it called, remediation company or something. And then I had gone to Home Depot I had taken the day off work because I'm like, I cannot just work full time always and also take care of my regular life. Like it just doesn't always work well, right? So I had called into work. I'm like, I gotta deal with this, my house. And then went to Home Depot. I probably got like $300 worth of various supplies to take care of the mold situation. I got a dehumidifier, I got an air purifier, a spare filter, N95 mask, body cover suit thing, gloves, mold removers, like just all the things. And then I had gone to Jimmy John's to get lunch, and was on my way over to Menards to get some more supplies. And then I was listening to the radio station, the Christian radio station, and normally I listen to that station like enough where you start to get familiar with the commercials even. Like, what commercials are going to be on the radio station, who's advertising on the radio station normally, even if it's not one that you would necessarily use. It's just like it's like they become like songs. You're so used to hearing the same thing. All of a sudden, this one advertisement came on for this like mold removal company. And I'm like, it stood out, obviously, because I'm literally spending the day dealing with mold. And it also stood out because I don't remember ever hearing that commercial on that radio station. Like maybe it was just there before and my brain didn't listen closely because I wasn't actively dealing with mold before, right? But it struck me like for multiple reasons. Like, so I was like listening, and then I Googled the place from my car, and I was like, this place has like a decade worth of like year after year, like Angie's List awards and, Better Business Bureau, integrity awards. I'm like, they really seem like a good company to use if you had a mold issue. And that's important for me as a single woman, because I am very used to, with all my house issues, also being taken advantage of, because I don't know anything about anything. And I mean, the contractors will come. It's like inviting the devil into your house for me. It's like the contractors will come in, they'll try to like hit on you and also take all your money and also do a bad job. And it's just, I deal with so many problems. I overpay for the tiniest things because I'm such an idiot when it comes to house stuff. And so at this point, I'm like, I don't even want to hire anybody anymore, because I'm like, I don't even know, like, I'm not gonna cry. I don't even know who's trustworthy, and so, but anyway, I was like trusting God through this situation with the mold. I'm like, okay, well, it's not my job to fight the Goliath on my own. It's just my job to like throw the stone, and God will handle it. And I was just doing a really good job trusting God. And then anyway, so then I heard the advertisement for that mold company, and they seemed so good, right? And I was like, that is awesome. And so then I still went to Menards, and I got these other supplies I needed. And then I went home, and then I did really basic things. Like, we still set up the dehumidifier, and we still set up the air purifier. Although I didn't put them in the room. I put them outside the room to just get the rest of the house, which has also been, exposed. And because I'm waiting for these people to come out at this point. I don't want to put anything new into the room yet until the people come out. But anyway, and then I told myself, okay, well, it seemed like God was involved that I heard this commercial, right? And so I'm going to call them before I do too much on my own. And so then I call the lady, and she's going through this series of questions, and they seemed very good. Like, they could come out right away. They're like super close. They're like within miles of my house. They're not even in like really far away cities. I mean, they can be here in 5 minutes kind of thing, right? And versus one of the other companies I called, they were like, well, we can maybe get to you in 3 weeks. I'm like, that's not gonna cut it, you know? And anyway, so then she's like, well, how did you hear about us? And I told her the story about how I was listening to the radio station, and had taken the day off to deal with the mold, even though it's been going on for like 6 months. And I heard their commercial, and it was just so like striking because I was literally just making a pit stop at Jimmy John's between Home Depot and Menards. And that's when I heard their commercial about the mold, when I was dealing with the mold. And I'm like, I said I Googled them, and, you know, they seemed good. So, you know, I thought I would call, and she's like, that's just divine. She thought it was like totally God too, which is interesting. So I can see why the radio station promotes them, you know. I'm sure they pick which commercials they allow on their station. But anyway, so that aside, I at least trust them at this point. So far, I'm like, I'm going to be comfortable with what they tell me. And so then they're going to come out tomorrow and then tell me all my options for all the various things. And then they also sent me an email, interestingly, to address potential lead in the house. Now, we already know we're dealing with lead. We just don't like disturb, we don't like deal with, you know, like if you're going to replace the windows or whatever, like I don't have the money to replace the windows anyway. So it's just like, we just don't touch it, sort of. And I don't know the level of it. My son was the one who did the testing. But anyway, so then these guys sent me an email about, apparently they can help with like lead in the home as well. Now, I don't know how much of this maybe insurance can pay for, or if it's all like on me, but I'm just super like at least grateful to get educated about it and get the information about it from these people. I think it's super cool that it feels like God was like, use these people. The cleanup is beyond you at this point. Like, you're gonna need some help, and use these guys. So isn't that awesome how that worked out? But anyway, so we have to go back to reading Galatians 5 because I did a horrific job with the first video. If you want to listen to all that commentary when I look like a crazy person and then also rant about a million things, feel free. It's probably not going to stay up for too long. I'll probably have to set it to unlisted, so, you know, it's just not public for too long. But I will stop this now, and then we'll do the retake of Galatians 5, and I'll try to add like barely any commentary.